the
Yeah.
Fabio hair.
Yeah, you look like a Viking for sure. Like if you had an axe, I'd be so intimidated.
I need like an axe with the trainer's heart on it. Now that's so cool.
Hi, I'm Joel Hayes, and I'm here with Hannes from Trainers. I
Mhm.
found his YouTube channel randomly one night, and it was very touching and motivational. And I was excited to see someone with a different view on fitness than the standard fitness industry views. And it attracted me to the group. And now I'm kind of a part of a small online community, and we're walking together and sharing together, and it's a really cool experience. And so, welcome, Hannes, and I'm glad to have you here. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. That was very touching, heartwarming. Thank you.
Awesome, just like your channel. I wanted to ask you if you want to describe what Trainers is for people that aren't familiar with it. I think that'd be awesome.
Okay, yeah. So basically, what I wanted to do was to do the nicest training community in the world, right? The most wholesome and nerdiest training community. Because the truth is, I'm not the first fitness YouTuber out there, believe it or not. There's a bunch, right? But they always like cater to specific kinds of audience, and I feel like the majority, the big like group of people who really needs it, people like me before a couple of years back, like overweight guys, nerdy guys, people who don't really fit into the regular gym stereotype. Like the fitness YouTubers, they cater to a specific kind of audience who don't really need the help. I feel like, um, so I wanted to
Yeah.
try to, and my whole thing is showing by doing because I am not in the best shape. I'm getting better all the time, but a lot of these successful fitness YouTubers, they have already done everything. They are fit, and they have been educated and stuff like that, so they know everything. I don't know everything, and I want to show the journey and being like an example. Yeah, showing by doing basically. So I'm like, I got a little bit of head start, so I know the basics. But yeah, you all get to see the journey with me, and perhaps I can teach something along the way. Basically, is that good enough?
That's amazing. I didn't want to interrupt you. I thought it was funny you said the people in the fitness industry they don't really need help, and
Mm,
or the people going into those different classes and whatnot. And it's I think some of them do need help, just maybe
yeah,
not with fitness. Um,
yeah.
it's very interesting looking at the fitness industry at a whole, and then looking at the population. And you're right, it's like underrepresented. Like everyone who creates a YouTube channel around fitness, they feel like they have to have a six pack, because
Yeah.
that's one of the number one questions people get is like, okay, I want abs. It's very based on physique. And I thought
Mm.
it was really like you know I don't think you are. I think you're fit. I think it's your the definition of fit should
A
not
different kind of
be
it, yeah.
based on physique. And like,
Mm.
if I were to go into battle, would I go into battle with you or Chris Heria? Definitely I would pick you.
Yes!
You
Finally, my
may.
goals have been achieved. Yes.
I don't know. Maybe he could use his abs or something to. He's over there using his abs as a weapon.
Yeah.
Anyway, no, but isn't that kind of weird? I mean, and I feel like I feel shame about like my physique and saying that I'm uh, becoming a personal trainer. I'm training to get my certification here, and
Mhm.
I'll mostly be working with people that are older and are suffering injuries, and they need just simple walking,
Mm.
and they also need someone to talk to. And I think that's like an element of uh, fitness, group fitness, is that community element. And I feel like the whole uh, gym persona, fitness industry persona, I feel like they're kind of gatekeepers and
Mm,
intimidate people
mm,
that need it the most. I mean, would you
mm.
agree with some of those things?
Absolutely, and I will happily be like the super strong clown that like can bring everything to a more like welcoming level, right? Because I know who you talk about, the gym douches. We've all seen them, and it's the farthest from the truth. I know it's hard to hear when you have not experienced gym life, but it's so welcoming in general, like the gym. So
Mm-hmm.
it's got a bad rep, and I don't know. It's my small kind of way of like it's just we just have fun. There's not it's not that much show culture that you might think. Not everywhere, of course. There's places that are like that also, but yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's
Yeah. Yeah.
it's
Really.
my way of contributing to a little better view on the whole like lifting weights because I think lifting weights is hugely it's still hugely underrated for a lot of people. And one thing building muscle but mental health that's why I fell in love with it from the beginning, not because I was strong or building muscles but because it helped my mental health so incredibly much actually.
So when did you start integrating the gym? I know you had a background in sports growing up,
Mm?
but was there a gap there where you fell out of fitness, or have you
Oh
always
yeah,
been?
big
Okay.
gap.
Yeah.
Always been interested in sport, but I played like hockey and soccer and stuff like that until my like 15 16 or something like that in my teens. But then
Mm-hmm.
then you just like, oh, girls, whoa, parties, and like I don't have time for this. And then you just stop being active altogether. And then I also got hugely interested in like movies, video games, nerdy stuff like that, and like all my life dedicated to that. And it escalates. You get overweight, and you lose your self-esteem and everything. And basically, you arrive to a point of like, it's too late now. It's no need to do anything. And then you
Mm-hmm.
have a mental health scare and mental health crisis, and you get burnt out. That's where the fast version of it, at least. I focused on the wrong things in life for too long
Mm-hmm.
and paid for it.
Right. And so the burnout, was that a blend of some of the alcohol and partying, or was that mostly from work?
That
Where was, yeah.
100% work. And I talked about it in an earlier video I've done about how I found how balance was so important to me because what happened, I only identified myself through my work.
Mm-hmm.
Like if uh, and my work is being creative, right? I've been making movies and music videos and stuff like that and have some viral hits together with Martin from Vintergatan and my own stuff as well, like, and I got praise and love that way. So all I thought about every day 24/7 was like work. I need to
Mm-hmm.
do more work so I can prove that I am valuable in any way. So for like 10 years all I did was work, and like that's where my worth is.
Mm-hmm.
So, and all of a sudden I've been working, and I started notice like I'm getting tired, brain fog, everything like that, and all of it. I worked so much that my work became poor. It became bad. So like
Yeah.
stuff I was doing with Martin and with other people, like I just couldn't keep up with the level I'm used to, and I was like, what is happening? And all of a sudden, uh, for like a week or something, I didn't have anything to work on, and all of a sudden I just crashed,
Mm-hmm.
totally crashed, and yeah, you hit the rock bottom, you got burned out. That's what happened to me. Like lying in my bed, crying, couldn't get up, that kind of stuff. Like,
Wow.
well, yeah, well, the body just, I can't take this anymore. What are you doing to me? The body was like, you haven't taken care of me in 15 years or like, yeah, 10 years. And it just gave up on me. And that was the big turning point after that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, uh, all of a sudden I had nothing, right? Oh, if all I had identified with in my life was work, and one day, like, I don't have any work, who the hell am I? So all I identified with was completely gone. So why should I get out of bed? You know. So that's where I was. I was completely. I had nothing left, and then that's the big turning point where I slowly and steady just like, okay, how to get back to a decent life from here on, and
Right.
that's where I took my first small steps towards going to the gym. Actually,
That's incredible. I experienced similar burnout and sleeping all day and basically neglecting the clients that I had at the time and just
yeah.
crashed my business, but ultimately crashed my mental health. And
Mm.
um, my journey, I lived on the water, and so I would go out and kayak, and that was my one way of getting outside and fitness. But I also felt like it was very cathartic in the sense that I could let go of some of the past trauma, and
Mm.
I would practice like a forgiveness meditation and just forgive myself, forgive my friends, anyone who hurt me while I was out kayaking. And I did that
Mm.
every single day, for an extended period of time. And that helped along with changing my diet and meditation. Um, but yeah, I was about 50 pounds overweight at one point. And so like I've experienced both being the skinny nerd and the overweight nerd. And
Mm.
yeah, it's more about the soul and less about the body. The body's a transient state, but it is really important for your confidence, I think, to have some sort of activity. And it doesn't matter where you're on, during along the path. It's like as long as you're on that path,
Mm.
that's what's important. And I think that's what I'm trying to encourage people to do. And I think that's why we align with our YouTube channels, is that that's at the core. We know
Mm.
what it's like to hit rock bottom, and we really want to help people. I wanted to ask you, so how do you keep from burnout now? I know you talked about this with your balance video, but I wanted some more details on like how do you schedule your day, and do you still take on video contracts? Like, what is your work, exercise, life balance look like?
Mm. Yeah, well, what basically happened after the burnout was that I needed to rearrange like what is important in life. And I had neglected life and relationships forever. Like, I don't deserve that. I'm a piece of shit. So no, I only work. That's where my value is, right? So
Mm-hmm.
after the burnout, I needed to start to like take everything else seriously. So from that day forward, I really was like, what am I if I'm not healthy and happy? Right?
Mm-hmm.
So health became like, okay, I need to, this needs to be priority one. So
Right.
health was getting myself to the gym, doing anything. I mean, the first couple of months I was there, I barely did anything, but I went there, right?
Right.
So I just no focus on work, like let everything crash.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't mean anything anyways if I can't get out of bed. So health became priority one. And from that on, that is till this day is health is the number one priority now as well.
Right.
So that is always in my mind to like, yeah, my days and weeks are planned after that, but I wouldn't say planned. It's just it happens
Mm-hmm.
uh, that way. Like work becomes almost like that comes third place. Like health first, relationships and work.
Right.
Um, so
So
and
what does sorry, I wanted to ask you, what does the typical day look like? I'm curious because I feel like you do so much and you do it so well. I'm interested in how you maybe it comes naturally, but I'm still interested in like on a typical day, what would a typical Monday or Tuesday look like?
Yeah, typical
But
day. Yeah. Let's see. And I have the luxury of like I have my own business, so I'm my own boss that way. So
same.
I don't have any like, set times all the time. So I
Hmm.
I can like let it slide a little bit. But usually, okay, let's the basics first, and that is health. So I have made it the thing that works wonders for me. I work out every other day at the gym, like lifting weights, doing strength training. So earlier in my life, I had like, okay, Monday, Wednesday, Fridays. For some reason, that just didn't work for me because then it was a schedule, right? And I need to do this those days. And all of a
Hmm.
sudden, I could have like thoughts like, oh no, can I postpone it? Or like something with a schedule. I don't know what it may be the creative mind in me. Like schedules are meant to be broken. I
It,
don't.
it gives me the heebie-jeebies.
Yeah.
Yeah. I cringe. I cringe. But
So I
anyway,
so
yeah, this is
so
great.
now like the status quo for me is just like, okay, is this a workout day or is it a rest day? So it's just it I don't need to think, right? So today
Hmm.
is a rest day. Yesterday I was at the gym. Tomorrow I'll be at the gym. So every other day I go to the gym, and I go at like 7 in the evening because then our gym is like people are starting to drop off. So it's a little bit less crowded. And I work out for 2 to 3 hours at tops. It depends on how heavy exercise is gonna be. So every
Hmm.
other day it's the gym. And work wise, yeah, I'm at my office here every day basically, and
Hmm.
I I come in and start around 9 or 10 and work till 6, something like that. And if we have like right now when I need to get all the steps, I usually go for a little. I take some extra. I take a detour to work before the day starts here, right? And then
Ah.
perhaps I take a small little walk during lunch, and I I walk to my gym. It's just a couple of. It's like 10 minutes away. So I walk to my gym. I get some extra steps there. So um, management with steps has become easy for me. I've been doing it for some time, so I just know I found some shortcuts every now and then to like, oh, here I can get like 20 minutes of a walk in, or here I can get 1 hour. And sometimes, as you've been in the challenges as well. Sometimes the
Yeah.
clock is like 10 in the evening, and like, oh shit, I have a couple of thousand steps left. Well, then I just need to go out and get them. Um,
Yeah.
So I know my days are standard and pretty boring. Boring usual stuff. I would say nothing out of the ordinary at all. And then I
Hmm.
have my girlfriend at home, and I've gotten so lucky that I have a girlfriend who really understands that I need to go to the gym. She has seen me when I don't get to go to the gym. I get anxious really
Hmm.
fast. So
Hmm.
she understands the importance of it, and that yeah, I got lucky there.
So where does the YouTube channel fit into this? Does that blend in with your work schedule? Does it just naturally happen, or do you feel like your work and your YouTube conflict at any point?
No, right now I've almost like an it's not an active choice. It has happened a little bit out of luck also. I don't have super much to do at work right now because me and
Hmm.
Martin, we have like scaled down our collaborations now. Martin does most of his stuff by himself at the moment because
Okay.
it's so much simpler videos right now. So it
Right.
takes longer if I was to try to get into his mind and edit everything, because
Hmm.
now it's technical right now.
Hmm.
So I have scaled down everything quite a bit, so I have more time to do trainer stuff. And
Hmm.
but I have also been very clear from the get go, like I I get to do trainers videos 1 day per week. and then I do other work on the other days, right? So Thursdays is the days where I sit down and edit the trainer's video for that week. So it doesn't, so I don't sit with that the entire week.
Yeah, and it seems like you have a pretty good formula for the videos. That
Mm.
I know you have switched it up in the past, but the recent ones have been this sort of
Formulaic.
fitness vlog formula.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you're falling into an awesome routine. I love that. It doesn't seem like you had to do a ton of planning, and I am in kind of in the same boat. I like to effortlessly do things, but at the
Mm.
same time, I naturally fall into kind of a lazy, depressed state when it comes to things that are like uninteresting but important.
Hmm.
So,
Hmm.
and then lately with my fitness, I have a shoulder impingement, which is
Hmm.
less than a tear, but still painful.
Yeah.
And the more I work out, and you've seen some of my traditional workouts like handstand walking and stuff like that, that's the stuff that gets me excited. And I
Mm.
naturally want to do that. That's sort of been out the window. So I've been in the desert, and then your challenge came along. And I realized how little steps I was walking. And it was interesting to see just how few steps people are walking and unaware of, that work from home, because so many people switched to working from home since the
Mm.
pandemic. And they said like average, I read some information on this. They said the average office worker gets 4,000 steps, but that would be if there was a building and you're walking from, the
Yeah.
parking lot, etc. At home, it's so easy to be super sedentary. And
Yeah.
um, I found it challenging, mostly time wise, to fit it in. Even the technically, I checked my smartwatch, it didn't sync up. My phone or my smartwatch wouldn't sync up because of Samsung. Thank you, Samsung.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I was doing like 3,000 more steps. So I was doing about 13,000 steps each day. And
Mm.
what I found is that um, you really got to plan, like you have gotten a routine, and once you have that
Yeah.
routine, it's easy. And I think that's so interesting. And I just want to encourage people that are listening to this that go out and try 10,000 steps. If you're doing it and one trying to do it in one take, one walk, that's like 5 miles, 8 kilometers. So
Mm.
depending on your stride, so that's a lot.
Yeah. And I think
And
that,
so
yeah, that's
yeah,
overpowering for a lot of people. I totally agree. Just for me going out, I'm gonna do 10K now, 10,000 steps. That's gonna be
yeah,
hard, right? So
yeah.
yeah, you need to find like the small hacks. And the first time a couple years ago when I started to go for 10,000 steps per day, I really like I looked at all the stuff I did per day, and then my office were in the neighboring town.
Hmm.
So I remember like already there I started to think about, okay, no car. Instead, take the bus. So I rode the bus. It took a little bit longer with the bus, but then I could jump off at a station like 30 minutes from work. So I took a walk to work.
Hmm.
So I like got the walks in before work. I like
Yeah.
so I didn't have like the panic of I need to go out now and walk for an hour or two because that
Hmm.
can be overpowering. I understand that. And it's
Yeah.
it's all about finding those, and some activities you get so much steps for free. So I can, on my gym days,
Hmm.
when I go to gym, I almost always get to 10,000 steps those days because I walk to my office, I walk to the gym, I walk around in the gym, like the exercising in the gym. Then
Right.
I walk home.
Hmm.
I mean, it's like 10-minute walks, but you add that up over a day, and I have 10,000.
Yeah.
And then, like today, I have a rest day, but me and Martin went out and we did some disc golfing just for
Hmm.
fun because it's summer now in Sweden and it's warm and nice. So just to get out, get away from our computers, just talking talking shit and just throwing frisbees. And that is 10,000 steps just doing 18 holes of disc golf. So finding
Yeah.
those like activities that doesn't feel like chores at all is great life hacks.
Right. Definitely.
Mm.
I agree. Yeah, and I think I just want to remind people, if you're going from 2,000 to 10,000,
Mm.
it don't feel bad. I felt bad. I'm like,
No.
oh my gosh, I suck. And especially being, but trying to be a personal trainer, studying for that. And then like with my background, it humbled me in a good way. And
Mm.
it made me aware of how little I was walking during the day. And um, I think it does help environment, being able to like walk to places. I live
Mm.
in a swamp, and so the best place is the neighborhood, and it just goes in a circle. And so I've been doing it's like 3 circles is a mile. So I've just been doing circles, circles, circles. Some of the neighbors were like, "You're making us tired." Yeah. And then by the time I did 7 days of the 10K,
Mhm.
and you really inspired me. I think it was amazing how many people in the group did 100%.
Yeah.
And yeah, very high percentages. So that was inspiring. And then um yeah, I remember by day 7, I was just stressed from everything, like doing the challenge. And I'm like, okay, I already completed my challenge. I'm like, I just want to walk slowly because I've been power walking, trying to get it in. But I
Okay.
realized what really needs to change is I need to get the bulk of it in the morning and
Mm.
plan around that. But I am using the 2-minute rule to create new habits, and it's from the book Atomic Habits.
Oh yeah.
And the idea that I'm using now for my walking, which is working perfectly, is 5,000 minimum. So
Mhm.
5,000 minimum is like I hardly even notice it. I get that naturally, and then I go beyond that. And some days I'm getting like 6 or 7,000, and I'm like, well, that's 3 times what I was getting when I wasn't walking, and so that's a good start. And then I'm just going to slowly work up from that.
Mhm.
And so that just brings down the days that I would only get 1,000 or whatever up to at least 5,000. And then I can go above and beyond on the days when I want to walk more. So, yeah, I think it's interesting how the metrics, like seeing how other people are doing in the streak, that little fire icon, you just like,
The
it's like crack
dopamine. The
cocaine. Yeah.
dopamine.
Give me that fire. Do you feel like
Yeah,
you've
yeah.
ever overdone streaks like that, or or pushed yourself too hard? Not necessarily in this walking challenge, but in the past, or do you think you know when your limit is, you know when to stop, or how do you feel about that?
It may seem like I'm sometimes plain stupid when it comes to stuff like this because I really go for it. And like in the gym, I lift heavy, and people around me like, "Oh, take it slow." But I assure you guys, I'm not that stupid. I listen to my body as well. I know pretty well my limits. So I've learned like if I feel something, I stop it.
Right.
I'm yeah. It may seem like it, like I'm showing off a bit for the camera as well, you know. But um, and
Yeah. No,
I think
I don't feel like that. I
oh
think
nice because
yeah.
I have quite a bit of sense of pride over I have never really injured myself, and lifting really heavy in a gym is prone to injuries if you're not taking it slow. And
Right.
I've seen a lot of like friends and people at the gym who injure themselves because of they rush everything, right?
Yes.
They like they want to see results quickly. But when I started, I truly started from the bottom. Like I started with just the barbell, 20 kilos, and I only added 2.5 kilos every every week. I didn't add anything more. I took it so slow.
Yeah.
Like I haven't rushed anything. So I have built up this for an incredibly long time. So it's not like, of course, I could like bench press more than 20 kilos when I started. I could probably do like 80 kilos. But I started at 20 and I added small weights.
Hmm.
So I think it's because of that I have not injured myself yet. I've strained something, but I've never like got any serious injuries. And I take it really slow. And that's one of the things I always talk about, like taking it super slow and also looking at the big picture, right? And it's the same
Hmm.
with these streaks. Of course, you want to get every day. But the whole 80-20 method, like
Right.
that is brilliant. Like if you do 80% good, like you will see amazing results. Like
Precisely. Yeah.
yeah, you're gonna
I
fail, and that it needs to be okay. I like when I crashed diet my first time when I lost 40 kilos in 8 months. That's a lot, right? And then you feel immediately you evolve like eating disorders when you get so extremely meticulous with what you eat, and that is not no way to live, right? You need to just cut yourself some slack, and you're gonna fail, and that's gonna be okay as long as you do 80% like good. You're golden.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think what you're describing is having the metrics work for you versus having them work against you. And
Yeah,
so, what helped me in the walking challenge was I'm like, you know what? I'm not competing with Hannes or any other runner walker in this group. I'm competing with me, and I'm
yeah,
absolutely obliterating myself. And so I'm like, that's all that matters. And the fire icon is just an icon, and
yeah,
I have to shift the metrics because I'm doing good, but I'm punishing myself for doing good. Like,
yeah,
what? Yeah, so that's where the obsessiveness sort of takes you out of your wisdom, your intuition,
yeah.
listening to your body. And a lot of people go fast and they go hard because they're comparing themselves to someone who's been doing it for 4 or 5 years. And
Yeah, or
so,
someone has wrongfully told them that you need to stick to everything 100% or you're gonna fail.
yeah, that's
Like,
nonsense.
yeah, I mean, like, oh, you can't have cheat days, or you can't do, why, you can't drink anything. Yeah, and that's all in the vein of the 80-20 philosophy, right? Uh,
Mm-hmm.
so I wanted to, because I noticed people really enjoyed like when I did the whole pull up series, like I have something to follow. So I
Yes.
just wanted to make little more like short, more like series. So and I was got really motivated now. It's summertime, it's always a good time to lose some weight over the summer. So why not just do like a lose 10 kilos? I'm not saying on how fast or slow it's gonna go, but just like okay, I'm gonna lose 10 kilos. Let's see how long it takes, right?
Yeah.
So this Thursday is gonna be really fun because last week I presented the whole project like okay, I'm gonna be stricter with my diet, I'm gonna work out, I'm gonna do my steps every day, minimum of take 10K. And episode 2 is gonna be like this past weekend we had the biggest party of the year in our hometown here. Like the beers were flowing, like we got plastered, we ate pizzas and stuff like that. It was a diet disaster, but incredibly fun, right? So that's gonna
Right.
be in the episode. Like I'm gonna lose those. I'm gonna lose that weight anyway, no matter how many beers I drank on Saturday. So I just want people to like, hopefully, I can show by doing like, okay, you 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 don't have to cut everything out. Like you can live life as well.
Well, yeah, no, that's a great point. And I was just having this conversation recently with some people that are on a strict elimination diet, and
Mm.
it's very important to stay pretty strict with it. But they messed up on one day, and it was one meal, one day, and it was just like a few jalapeno peppers or something like that. It's like had some
Ooh.
cream cheese. That was it.
Mm.
And
Oh,
and they were kind of freaking out, like, do we
yeah.
restart? And I told him, like, I think you're not like lab testing your bodies. Like, I think you'll be fine. I
Your
think that
life is
won't.
not over. I can
Yeah,
guarantee you,
it's
you
not
will
going to destroy
survive.
the results.
Yeah.
But yeah, and I think a fun rule or a good rule, depending on how often you go to these types of events, is allow that be to be your wild card or your cheat day, because
Hmm.
I think what's most important is whatever you do most consistently. So your daily habits,
Yeah.
work on those, and don't. I don't. Anyone can be any way they want to, but it
Yeah.
sucks when you go over to a house and you're like, oh, I don't eat that.
Yeah. I can't. I will die. I will break my strict routine. I will die.
Yeah. Yeah. And yeah, I think it's easy to beat yourself up. And we were just talking about that in my experience with the walking. I was beating
Mm.
myself up over doing so amazingly well compared to the past month.
Yeah.
It's like we're psychotic.
Take
Humans are
the
psychotic.
win. Take the win.
Definitely. So yeah, I'm excited about seeing this wild party.
Yeah. It was so much fun. And who knows, maybe I've lost like 10 grams or something, but who cares, right? I'm gonna
Right.
lose it. I'm gonna have a good time doing it. And I'm gonna show everyone like it's not it is hard, but it's not as hard as one would think if you just be a little smart about it. And if you focus on
Mm-hmm.
the right things.
Mm-hmm.
Focus on the big picture. You won't get fast results. Not results that will stick anyway. You will get fast results, but
Mm-hmm.
they won't stick.
So if,
You need to make a habit out of it.
correct. And so if someone wanted to start their fitness journey and they're currently Mr. and Mrs. Couch Potato, what would you tell them like at their first step? Would you suggest walking or
I think that's one of the best things in the world, actually. Just
yeah.
going out and doing walks. Like everyone can do it. It's like that whole you got no reasons not to do it, right? And everyone
Mm-hmm.
can do it. It's the threshold is so low.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't like the you almost can't get injury from it. it's so it's so nice for like your knees and legs and stuff like that. And especially, yeah, my experience with being overweight. Also, I have that. So
Mm-hmm.
walking is like, yeah, it's the best thing you can do. So
Yeah, yeah.
that's my go to every time. Like start doing some walking, do some everyday walking. Perhaps on weekend do a little bit longer or something like that. Before you start like getting a gym membership and getting the diet plan and everything, just start
Mm-hmm.
somewhere. And I think
Mm-hmm.
walking is it's one of the best things you can do.
Yeah, I feel like if you try to pick up too many habits starting out, there's this rubber band effect.
Yeah.
And yeah, you end up falling back into your old habits versus making it stupid simple where you're kind of on autopilot. And that's what you've been describing. And that's what I've been working on as well. And yeah, I think this has been a great conversation. So thank you, Hannes. And I hope you come back. I hope I didn't weird you out or anything. And this will
It
be
was
one of many podcasts.
this was lovely. I enjoyed it very, very much.
Same. Thank you, man.
Yeah, you
Okay.
know what? You need to remember this. You're awesome.